This is how it should be done. That's what she said.
A beautiful young girl at our market launch event has inspired me so much since she said those words to me. This video is not only dedicated to that phrase, to her, but what it represented to me, to us, to the team. Because this is something that we are repeating ourselves very, very often, what it should be. Maybe we are getting there as a humanity, but for us, it's very important to say what compassionate leadership means for us. Here we go. Compassive leadership is not weak. It's strong, but in a different way. It's not towards an immediate response to specific action, but rather to take the time and a space to think, to care, to understand before acting impulsively. So it takes a little bit longer. It needs a little bit more patience. Definitely, it needs a little bit more kindness and respect for others. It's more human. It's not perfect. It's real. It's leading towards understanding of differences instead of imposing points of view. For us at the Mompreneurs Society, leadership with compassion, with kindness, with respect for ourselves and for the people we want to serve is very important and connected deeply to our mission. Now, we are going to talk about key aspects of compassive leadership that we can see everywhere, not only in business, but in politics, in psychology, in literature, in religion, actually in any kind of human activity that is supported by a group and needs to get forward to a specific point. The point is to get there, to get that together, but in a more kind, respectful, and of course, compassive way. The first fundamental aspect of compassive leadership is empathy and understanding. And that is not a small thing. When you're empathic, that means you have the capability to put yourself in someone else's shoes first. And that is something that people say very slightly, that is actually quite difficult. Because sometimes to understand how a person feels is to be able to detach your own feelings and put them aside and actually consider that your own feelings may not be that important at that very moment, but the other person's feelings are more important. So that is actually difficult because we live in a society where individualism is very prevalent. I need to do something just for me, just to understand, like the personal bubble, which is all right, is very good. But when we are thinking about leading with compassion, with heart, empathy is a fundamental aspect to develop. Understand, put yourself in someone else's shoes and imagine that you are going to do something for that person, even if your interests are against that. So that's a huge thing, but it's really, really fundamental. A second key aspect of compassive leadership is active listening. That is fundamental for any kind of leader because that is related to understanding in real life how a person needs or what a person is really needing at that specific moment. You have sometimes an idea that that's where things should be going to or your viewpoint of the world, but instead of putting that first, the idea is to really start an active listen. Instead of that, the idea is to put yourself in space to actually listen actively, presence, how another person needs, what another person needs. Third key aspect is support and care. This is about encouragement, real help that you can do to someone else so that person can grow regardless if it's not exactly how you like, it's how this person like it and in the way and pace of this person. So if you're a person who likes things very fast and likes to perform, if you are leading that way, perhaps you are in a situation where many members of the team are not okay with that. Maybe they need a slower pace. Maybe they need to think a little bit more. They need to be systemic. They need to understand the process in a different way. And maybe you are not making them feel comfortable. So when you really put yourself, hey, I want to help, it's not your way, it's their way. Fundamental fourth aspect is child love. Building relationships. We are in a territory of human collective growth. That means real life connection is vital. is really important. That means not only online spaces, but actually facilitating that people connect, that people come together, that people gather, that there's a space for small talk. In the office, coffee breaks are really important to get the time to talk about everything, not necessarily about business, because that creates trust, that creates relationships, that creates meaningful connection with another person. Fifth element is creating safe spaces for people to express themselves. For us, that is not only super special, but actually at the core of what we do. Giving people spaces to express themselves, their feelings, their challenges, their celebrations is actually everything. Because from there, we validate our business ideas, we listen to what people really need, and we get immediate insights, we get immediate feedback and insights of what we do. But the point of this is that they need to be genuine. They need to provide people with safety and with the possibility of opening their hearts and not feeling that you are doing that with a specific purpose. Sometimes if it happens that we ask something and we validate a business idea, great, but that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to create a safe space for people to gather, to join, and more importantly, to express themselves safely. So if you actually connect with people online, physically, but in a space where they can actually communicate, articulate their feelings, you have a very, very strong and powerful space. So you have to nurture that. Last but not least, focus on mental health and well-being. This was the, I will say, aspect that changed all in the Mompreneurs Society. For us, realizing how important this was meant to actually change almost all our offer, because we understood that mental health and well-being is fundamental for people's performance and people's happiness. So if you don't care about these aspects, there is no going to be sustainable growth. People need to feel well with themselves, and we need to provide activities, we need to provide safe spaces, we need to provide resources, mechanisms for people to be well mentally, to connect with their hearts, and to actually grow in their own way, feeling okay, feeling achieving, trying, aiming at happiness. So that is for us compassionate leadership. That is our mission at the Mompreneurs Society. We want to encourage young people, not only girls, not only future moms or just adults, but actually young people, girls and boys, to start feeling it, to start taking a step into compassionate leadership, because we feel that creates great results, and we are completely dedicated and we are completely in love with that idea. If you want to join us, support us, cooperate with us, we are always open for new ideas, partners, cooperations. So check our website and let's be part together of the solution. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and keep being inspired.